Jasmine. I blog over at runjasminerun.blogspot.com, and this is my little mini intro for the People Who Inspire interview segment for the month of October. And this October, we have Lindsey from the I'll Have Another podcast. That's a lot to say. Yo, that's hard to say fast. Anyway, so I don't know Lindsey personally. I just met her this year at the Indie Women's Half Marathon Expo when I was walking out with my husband and we ran into her. And before that, I like her podcast. I like her as a person. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something totally out of my comfort zone. I'm going to reach out to her and ask her if I can interview her for the month of October. And she said yes. And I was like, winning, because I was so excited to, interview somebody that, I do look up to, because any person who decides one day I'm going to do a podcast and just learn how to do it and just do it, that's awesome, okay? That is awesome. Words can't even describe how awesome that is. But anyway, so I don't know, how to even do this introduction, because I don't know Lindsey personally, but I have been a fangirl of her podcast and just her in general because of the things that she shares on social media. She's very raw and real and down to earth, and you know me, if you've been following along in my blog universe, I am down with that. If you are raw, real, and down to earth as a person, we're gonna be cool. We are gonna be cool. So, I don't really know exactly how I found Lindsey on social media. I wanna say that when Mark and I, my husband, Mark, when we were moving up here to Indiana from Florida, I think I started just looking on Instagram other runners from Indiana, because I'm just number one, I need to figure out how to train through the winter. Maybe I can get some tips from runners here in the Midwest. And I think I looked at indie runners of Indiana hashtag, and that's how I found Lindsey's Instagram profile. And when you're looking for some new friends in the social media world, you do a little scroll down in their profile to see if y'all have the same interests, and we did. And I started just following along, and she was posting a lot of stuff that I totally could relate to. Got to learn about her kids, and got to see her run while she's pregnant, which that's mind-boggling to me. I don't have kids. I've never been pregnant, so just to see a female runner run pregnant is just you go, sister. But anyways, that's how I found her, and I just kind of followed along in her life journeys, and one day she posted that she was going to launch a podcast. And I was like, oh, cool. I just started listening to podcasts. I'm always looking for something, to listen to during my recovery runs, or if I'm at home just chilling, doing dishes or whatever. And I started listening to her podcast, I'll Have Another. And I started to notice that a lot of the people that she had on her podcast were people that I was already following on social media, who were very motivating, very inspiring. And I was like, okay, I'm officially a fangirl. Because anybody who wants, to provide great, motivating, inspiring content gets an A+ in life from me. So, without further ado, and because I don't have any cool stories yet about Lindsey, because I don't know her personally, I'm just a fangirl, the People Who Inspires, yeah, that's my segment, right? I forgot it for a second. The People Who Inspire interview for October is Lindsey from the I'll Have Another podcast. I hope you guys enjoy this interview. I got to learn more about Lindsey, and that was awesome. And I got to learn more about like the development of her podcast and how she balances things, which is always something that blows my mind. People who are runners, who have kids, who are married, and then on top of that, she's pregnant right now. Like, oh my God, I feel like I don't do enough when I read other interviews about people balancing all of that. But, all right, I'm going to cut it so y'all can read her wonderful interview. Please go listen to her podcast. It is so freaking good. I've been telling everybody about it. So please go check it out. It's I'll Have Another. Go leave her some love. And thank you again for watching my intro to the interview. All right, guys. Peace.